Mother, man.
This is Jesper Skousen from Killing, and you're listening to Metal Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest.
It's Murder Metal Mayhem!
Well, hell yeah, man. Jesper from Killing. Little
Killing.
Fucking killer intro there. It is Tuesday, guys. We are throwing down a new Murder Metal Mayhem tonight at Horns High Studios for the Horns High Podcast Network, episode 171, gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, fuck yeah. And got Chris and Joey here with me. Everybody doing all right?
Hell yeah.
Man.
Fuck yeah.
I just seen that fucking, Chris got that thumb. Is that the Kelsey Winters
Kelsey
thumb?
Winters, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And we had the thumb drive from
Right.
Tony Campagna.
Right.
And spoiler alert to anybody listening, but seeing that fucking new Batman, they pull a fucking scene in the movie with the thumb drive.
Oh, really?
You know? And I was like, man, I wonder if Tony fucking hooked them up with that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. I haven't seen it. But very cool. Well, glad you guys are here. And Chris, you got the familiar shirt over
Yeah,
there.
I got my old fucking Mickey's fucking big mouth grenade bottle shirt on. Love this shirt. I get quite a few compliments on this shirt. At
Oh,
work.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. That's cool. Joey, what about you?
I got the camo Crepitation shirt, Crepitation from the UK. Badass motherfuckers. And I got the fucking Phalloplasty zip-up hoodie. Phalloplasty from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hell yeah. And I busted out a new shirt,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
I just got this yesterday. Corpse Grinder, Respect the Neck
the neck.
t-shirt,
It's
man.
fucking hilarious.
Respect the
dude.
neck.
Fucking love it. So, yeah, I just got it yesterday. I was so fucking pumped because I was hoping I'd have it for tonight. I actually put it in the notes before I even got it just because I knew I was going to wear it.
Right, hell yeah.
So I got some good shirts coming. I ordered a Dissection shirt
Hell yeah.
and a CDN Records shirt.
Fucking
Pretty
right, dude.
badass.
Represent.
Yeah, with like this cool monster on it. It's fucking badass. And so trying to support the local bands and the underground bands. I ordered a Schizophrenia shirt. That's on the way. Anxious to get that too. So, all right. Well, last week, guys, we did a really good one on Howard Unruh, Chris, that Walk of Death.
Fucking New
Fucker didn't care,
Jersey.
man.
Pretty brutal, man.
Hell yeah, just walk out, just pop everybody, and then like get shot in the ass and not even give a fuck
Yeah,
about it. Like,
didn't care.
like,
Yeah,
whatever.
Don't fuck with my gate.
no,
fuck
don't
with my
steal
gate,
my
dude.
gate, bitch.
That's it.
1949, though, you said, Joey, Camden, New Jersey, crazy one. About as senseless as it gets, man. Just brutalizing,
For no
shooting
reason,
kids.
because he got upset about piddly little shit.
Yeah, people fucking talking shit about him. He got mad and fucking went crazy. So we did that one. And Joey, you did the metal feature. That was cool. Did a
Fucking
different
body
one.
count.
Body count. And you and I had a couple good Mayhem stories. And
Hell
by
yeah.
the way, I got a sequel to 350 Big Block
350 Big
tonight,
Block.
the Mayhem segment. So it's a shorter version, but a funny thing that happened after that. So it's cool. If you missed it, though, go give it a listen. We just passed 900 to that today, so that's cool. The episodes are getting to 1,000 a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
The Dr. Death episode at 1,100 something when I checked it, too. So thank you guys very, very much. Tonight, though, we got a very, very disturbing story. I stumbled on this one and got sucked in big time. It is a strange case involving mass suicide, Chris, man. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
A whole family of 11. Like
yeah,
a family.
just hanging there, fucked
Family,
up.
dude.
In Burari, Delhi, which is in India, it's a wild tale of a family's patriarch who dies and has such a major impact on the family that they would actually agree to commit suicide in order to bring him back from the dead. It is fucking awful, but I thought it would make for a very interesting subject because, we do awful very well here,
That's pretty much.
So we've done mass suicide on a big scale, of course, Joey, with the Jim Jones shit.
Hell yeah.
We did that. So this is not obviously 900 something people, but like Chris said, it's a family. It's 11
You're not
of
going to
them.
run into much cult shit where you're going to hit 900. I mean,
No,
Jonestown
that's
is an
definitely
exception.
the Mac Daddy of fucking cult killer. So we'll do that one in the murder segment, and we're going to record video of that segment too. Yeah. So you guys listening to this, if you haven't been on our YouTube channel, that'd be a good reason to subscribe to it so you get stuff like that. I had a couple of listeners said they loved it when we posted the Mayhem segment from episode 168 because they said it was so cool to actually see you guys do the show, you know. Right. So
we just sit here bored.
Yeah, we're just sitting here, but you know, to somebody
shit.
that listens to us a lot, they think it's kind of neat to actually see the studio and check it out. So that's awesome. So thanks to you, the guys that have commented and given us some positive feedback there.
Remember that other cat? Whenever I was fucking doing the research for this one, I kept thinking, man, I can't remember. It was another cult, but it was like fucking so many people in like Canada and then so many people, I think, Switzerland. And all these motherfuckers killed themselves the same day, but in totally different areas. It was just like a set thing that they were all going to do. I'll have to look that one up and link you to it.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Now, I got the horns tonight, guys. In the metal segment, I'm going to be doing my feature on the Danish thrash band Killing. Just killing. And those guys are wicked as hell. I'm going to play a 7-minute clip of a recent interview I did with their drummer, Jesper Skousen. It was awesome. He's such a fun guy. And the 51-minute interview will be out the day after this comes out as a bonus. And then a video of it, again, going back to that YouTube channel. So you're missing out if you're not on that YouTube channel. So go check that out. I linked to it in the episode description. So you're going to get a 3-peat on Killing this week. You're going to get them in the episode. You're going to get them as a bonus, and you're going to get the video of it on YouTube. So, and Joey, you got a Lost classic for us.
I got one. I'm ready.
So that's cool. And Chris, we got a nice killer cage match tonight. That's where we get our listeners to provide some random numbers so we know who we're going to fight and what they're fighting with. So
so we got Jody Wharton. Hey, Jody. We got Rebecca Boomsock. Rebecca.
Hell yeah.
And we got Carlin Schwindy. So thank you, Carl.
Oh, yeah. Kara's been on there a couple times now. So that's cool. Yeah, 3 ladies on there tonight. Brutal beatdown going on in the steel cage tonight, Joey. Who do we got? Your boy.
Sick Ripper! William Devin Howell from Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to go up against the Beast of BC, and we just did this dude not too long ago.
Right.
Clifford Olson.
Brutal matchup. Actually, this should be a good one. That's going to be a heck of a fight. They're going to have 2 objects to fight with and a variable in the cage with them. And that'll be in the Mayhem segment. Chris, they got to wait for that.
Yep.
But it'll be fun.
It'll come up sooner than you think.
That's right. We got a new sponsor this month. We mentioned our diehard listener, Chris, Rebecca Boomsock from Wisconsin Rapids. She's awesome. She used to race asphalt car racing. So she's all about that kind of stuff. Her dad was the crew chief for NASCAR legend. And if ever there was a NASCAR legend, that would be a Murder Metal Mayhem thing.
Dick Trickle.
Old Dick Trickle. You got to love that. But no, seriously, she has worked with several local drivers around Wisconsin. Very cool of her to sponsor us. And really all she wanted to do was help support the cause and just link to the Dick Trickle Memorial Project. So go check the episode description. If you're into NASCAR racing, Dick Trickle's a legend. And they got that memorial project set up for him. So that's cool. Thank you to everybody out there listening to Murder Metal Mayhem. We keep seeing the numbers coming in. This week we're around 2,600 guys, so still holding our own. So thank you to everybody. And Joey, Chris, we definitely got a lot on our plate tonight.
We hit the 500,000 though, right?
We did pass the 500,000.
500,000 listeners.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Yeah. But we're going to be taking a long ass plane ride. I hate these long
I
plane
think
rides.
this is our first time going to Delhi.
I think so, man.
I like sandwiches. Oh, not the deli. No.
So hopefully we're going to avoid getting tied up and hung from the ceiling in Burari. So Chris, what the fuck we got to do?
Yeah, let's get our murder on suicide. Yep, let's figure this out.
Fuck yeah, man. In Malice's wake and their song To Die As One, a fitting tune.
I mean, pretty
About
much sums it up.
The
Yeah.
same shit, man. Drink well and be dignified in the lyrics. Just fucking love that shit. Talking about, of course, Jim Jones. And now we're not talking about Jim Jones, but that was the perfect, I thought, song to play here. Tonight, though, we're going to be talking about the disturbing case known as the Burari Deaths. It's a mass ritual suicide of one family. 10 bodies were found hanging. Another was nearby in the house, strangled. Just happened in
Yeah, it wasn't
2018.
long ago at all, dude. That's like
No.
I never even heard of it till you brought it up. Dude.
I know.
was
It's
like,
one
what
of
the
those,
fuck?
like, how did I not hear about this? In Burari, Delhi, which is in India. It's a fucked up story. Hard to imagine what would lead relatively normal adults to do some crazy ass shit like that with
Brain
kids and
damage.
everything. Wow, 3 generations. We're going to dig into it tonight. So, Chris, I mean, you cannot help but think about old Jim Jones when the subject of mass ritual suicide is going to be discussed.
Does that mean when I first fucking, like, you told me about it, what was going on and shit, like, instantly, first thing that popped into my head was cult, dude. I was like, what kind of fucking cult is this, dude? That's the only thing I could think of. But
Right. No,
I don't
that's
know.
exactly right. I mean, it makes you think of the Jim Jones shit because to me that's very
Family.
similar to that, but on a much smaller scale. Now, Joey, had you heard anything about this before we brought it up?
No, I hadn't heard about it. So this was like pretty fresh going into this, but there was so much to research on it and so much new stuff.
Right.
There was a lot, so that was very interesting.
Yeah, and that
And-
3-part special on Netflix is really good.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, but I know we've all 3 watched that. So that's really like the one, like Chris, you said you listened to a podcast and they referenced that docuseries because it's good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
got all the players on it. And of course, they're all speaking in, I don't know if what you call the language there, but Farsi. But nonetheless, it's all it's got captions and it's got an
overdubbed, yeah.
English translations and stuff where there's no English.
And we're talking
Voice
about,
actors.
we're talking about the fucking cult connections and,
Oh,
brought
yeah.
up Jim Jones. And the only reason I'm going to elaborate on this is just because I brought it up in the intro.
Oh, sure.
But I had talked about another cult that had come up.
Yeah.
And it was the Order of the Solar Temple, Ordre du Temple Solaire. But in that one, there was a house in Montreal, Quebec, that caught on fire and 5 people died in it. And they found it and it was all ritualistic and shit. And then the very next day in fucking Switzerland, there were 2 villages. They found 23 bodies in a burnt farmhouse in Fribourg and then 25 more in Canton Valais in Switzerland. And then fucking after that, they ended up finding 16 more dead in a star formation in the Vercors Mountains of France in 1995, but they just hadn't found them as fast,
Right.
So that it kind of reminded me of this, but this was just one family that did all this shit. But
Right,
that's
right.
pretty fucking crazy, like an organized
fucked up.
fucking suicide. you
Yeah,
know?
all over the place like that. Wow. I stumbled on this one on YouTube, I believe. It is such a crazy one, though. And after I watched the docuseries we talked about, I knew I wanted to let you guys, know about it so we could talk about doing it for the podcast.
Hell
So
yeah.
just a good story of good in the way of, just so dark and a perfect subject matter for us, but very, very disturbing at the same time. To imagine adults again, rational people to come to that decision is just
telling kids to
blows
do
my
the same
mind.
thing and shit.
Yeah, I mean, now we're talking about the Chundawat family, very well respected there in Burari, which is a city in Delhi, India. They owned a popular grocery store.
And a
They had
plywood business.
Plywood
That seems
business, kind of random.
Like grocery store
Yeah.
plywood. What?
And their son, Lalit, which we'll talk about him throughout this story, but I don't know if Joey, that has anything to do with being lit. Like,
That motherfucker lit as fuck.
La
Dude,
lit.
lit as a
Speaking of getting lit, to our listeners, if you want to try this, I don't know how many times we're going to do it, but every time you hear us mention 11, slam a beer.
There you go.
Right,
There
for
you
real.
go. Yeah, really.
There's
for
a lot
sure.
of
There's a lot of 11s here. 7-Eleven.
Dude,
We need to
dude, like, we
sponsored by 7-Eleven.
Like before we left the house and shit, like I'd come home every day and watch Jeopardy and shit. And like one of the subjects was just 11 on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
For real.
Oh, that's fucked up. Oh shit. So they lived in this neighborhood for like 20 years. Everybody knew them. Very, very well liked. Everybody had only good things to say about them, the kids. I mean, just very, very well liked. But we're talking about, which is common in India and other countries as well, but these multi-generational homes, which they call a joined family. You're talking
Like
grandparents,
parents, grandchildren, like all
Yeah.
of them. Like,
all in the same house.
fuck that.
And they're all working like a team. You got the grandparents are retired,
Right.
but they're still doing stuff, and the kids are working. The grandkids are,
Doing
young.
school or whatever.
So yeah, they're in school. So very, very religious Hindus, and went to temple twice a day. And all their neighbors, again, only had nice things to say about them. So that just makes this that much worse. Now, I'm going to run down the names and ages of these
Woo,
family
good luck.
I'm
members.
so glad you're going to
Yeah, I'm
run
glad
down.
you're doing this. 'cause
I really
I'm like,
thought about
man.
it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to say, fuck it. I'm going to do my best.
Yeah.
So I'm going to butcher them. So I'm sorry if you're, from a country and you're thinking, what the hell's wrong with
What's
this
this dude
idiot?
talking about?
But I'm just going to do the best I can. All right.
Go.
So we got Narayani was the grandmother. She was 80. The grandfather was Bhopal. And then you got the siblings and their spouses, which range from 42 to 57. And they were Pratibha, Bhuvnesh, Lalit, Savita, and Tina.
Tina.
You get this random, American sounding name. And then the grandkids, which are ages 15 to 33, were Priyanka, Neetu, Manu, Dhruv, and Shivam. So
There you go. Good job, Pete. You made
yeah,
it.
thank you. So yeah, I know that those are some tough names, and I just wanted to show mostly the ages there. These are well-educated people. A couple of the adults had master's degrees. These were far from, simple people.
Oh, no.
These are
they
very
fucking
well-educated.
Had great educations. And right before it happened, old girl was getting engaged and shit, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a very normal
11
household. is what's-
days.
this is so
11
fucked up.
days.
After the suicide, she would
Right.
have gotten married.
Yeah, exactly.
11.
And there was a third older brother, but apparently he did not live with them. I'm not sure what the deal was with that. They just mentioned him briefly, and that was that. So Chris, the son, old Lalit,
Yeah, he's the youngest.
he becomes distraught, man, over what major event in his
Yeah,
life. man.
like being the youngest was weird too, instead of the oldest, because that usually doesn't happen there and shit.
right.
but
But
like-
his dad dies.
Yeah, his dad dies, and all of a sudden he's like a medium for his dad, and like possessed by his dad, telling the family how to live and everything. Like changes his voice tone and how he talks to him, and they're
Yeah.
like uses his dad's voice, I guess, apparently, but and how he addresses everybody he's talking to, like
Yeah. Very, very strange.
Really
But they
weird.
all believe this shit.
okay, he
so-
can see this shit. We
So-
gotta believe him.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves with that, but I did want to bring up the big time with the, like you said, the channeling,
Yeah,
because that's a big part of this story. So now, Joey, the one thing that the police were unable to make any sense of was a diary or a journal that he'd had about his dad dying in 2007.
Actually, it was a pretty big help for them to figure out what was going on.
Right.
because they walked in and it was just like, you would have to, I don't know, you can't fucking read minds and everybody in the place is dead.
Right.
But they found a diary that was basically 11 parts for the 11 members of the family.
Right.
And he had been writing it for 11 years.
You just saying 11 on purpose.
11.
Yeah, there was a lot of 11s. And
You guys got to be drunk by
I know,
now.
that's what I'm saying.
it's hard to say because I saw like a few things. I saw like something where it was debunking some of the theories on this case and whatnot. But the journals or the diaries that were kept, Lalit, it was his words for sure. I also saw where it might have been the niece that was jotting down the information.
Okay.
But then I saw some handwriting thing that they said that it was probably Lalit's.
Right.
It's really confusing. But that niece, though, like Chris had said, she had just gotten engaged 11 days before the suicide. So that was
Right.
another 11. So
Right.
these diaries, though, yeah, like once the inspectors saw those and the detectives, it definitely helped them out because you could not have fucking figured this out.
No, I mean, it looked like a murder. They didn't really know.
Right,
'cause
yeah.
their hands are bound. We're going to get into all that. But
Yep.
really, really an interesting case. And like you were saying, guys, in these journals, he's telling them what to do with their money, you know,
Yeah.
important
Who they should
decisions
see,
to
like-
make. If anybody fucked up, he called them out, like, pretty brutally.
Yeah.
You know, claiming that his father was the one telling him to do it, though. And you know, that really helped the police because without that, I mean, they wouldn't have.
And I had no idea what the hell happened.
Yeah, exactly. So, Chris, he's got the family believing that committing suicide is a way to bring old grandpa back, man.
It pretty much they told him that if they kill themselves in this ritualistic manner or whatever, that grandpa would come back but save them all before they
Right
died.
at the nick of
like
time.
the nick
right?
of time, they wouldn't die. So they're just basically showing that they would sacrifice themselves to bring him back. But he's not going to come back. He's
Right.
They definitely had this belief, though.
Yeah.
They didn't. I mean, it's hard to tell what was really going through all these people's minds, to be honest, you know, but they all went through with this. So,
Right.
in light of that, I mean, they're thinking that they're going to be saved. Like, they don't have fear in their hearts that they're committing suicide. They're performing a ritualistic act to bring somebody back who's going to then reunite with them
right.
and make sure everything's okay. And I mean, if that's not batshit crazy, I don't know what is.
I know,
For real,
dude.
dude.
I know.
But I always like to just clarify that honestly, these people weren't like 100% being like, oh, we're just killing ourselves. It wasn't
No,
like,
they weren't
wasn't
at
like
all. For all
Jonestown in that
these years,
respect.
you know.
Right, right.
So, Joey, they drill and drill on how to do this, how to tie themselves up,
Yeah.
but the adults would help the kids. What was the deal with all that, man?
I mean, they wanted to make sure that when the time came that they were going to do this exactly right. There wasn't going to be any, you know, hiccups or
Right.
screw nothing up. And they knew that, you know, the children would have to be, you know, taken by the hand and have this happen to them, and they'd have to tie them, and they did.
Right.
You had to figure out how you're going to end up with the last person,
Right.
you know, who's not going to, I guess, chicken out of the ritual
And
at
you
the
can't
last
have
second.
somebody there to help you. That's
Right.
Right.
There can't be any other witness to the ritual or whatever.
Right.
And it blows my mind. I mean, we're going to talk more about what happened, but one of them wasn't hung. One of them was killed a little bit earlier.
Right.
And, you know, I saw a fucking news thing, and they were talking to one of the members who wasn't killed, who wasn't there with them or whatnot.
Oh, one of the family.
Yeah,
that came
and they
out.
were like, I don't understand how to, out of all these intelligent people in this house, not one of them wasn't like,
Right.
hold
I
on,
saw
what
that,
the
yeah.
hell?
Right.
You know, and, you know, it's kind of just, they totally did not believe that they were going to die.
Right. I mean, and they were so devoutly religious that if they just followed this brother Lalit blindly and just
Yeah.
believed what he told them. So I don't know.
But no, if you saw the one die, if they killed the lady and you're sitting there and you're like,
You're watching.
hey, he didn't come save her.
Yeah, how
Right.
come she's dead?
Right, what's going
That's
on?
a good
Wait,
point.
maybe
Yeah,
we
that's a
shouldn't do
really
this.
good point. Yeah, what the hell are you talking about? Him
Yeah.
coming here and saving us? Mom's fucking dead on the floor
Yeah.
there, dude. All right,
Supposed
so
to be
the
all
morning,
at once.
the morning of July 1st, 2018, at about 7 a.m., one of the Chundawat neighbors who would go on morning walks with Lilith, noticed that he wasn't at their usual meeting spot. He also noticed that the grocery store and the plywood store, because the plywood store's got to be open at fucking 5
Dude, these fucking goddamn carpenters need to get their materials.
Yeah, I
man.
don't get it, man.
Also, they had some supplies dropped off for the groceries.
Oh, that's right.
That were sitting out front, and everybody's like waking up, going about their day, and they're like, all this shit's just sitting outside.
Right, and
That's
they were
not normal
always
at all,
very, very
punctual,
on time, always at 5 a.m. And so this neighbor goes to their home and finds the front door unlocked. He opens it, and when he enters, he sees some seriously fucked up shit. 10 of the Chundawat family hanging from this lattice, like steel,
steel lattice,
barred
like
lattice above this courtyard in their house, which is kind of weird. They have a courtyard in the house, but they're hanging from this by sheets. All 11 of them in this, or 10 of them.
He notices
9 of
10.
them. You got 9 hanging from the grid.
Right. One hanging nearby.
Still with a scar.
I wonder why she was not in the...
I never understood.
That was a weird one. But
yeah,
you had
I
the
understood with the grandma, because she probably
couldn't get up on the stool.
Exactly.
And
She's too old, too heavy,
And then the grandma, like we said, dead in the other room. So this is fucking crazy.
And what if it was just a matter of physics where Lilith's like, our 10 bodies with our equal weight will not hold
just
the
looking
grid.
at that is going to
It's
going to
fall down.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So we need to
That's
put
a
one
good
It
point.
is strange. I never understood why the one was off to the side.
That is weird. Unless he was just trying to sell some plywood,
Right.
Maybe we want to plywood this fucking courtyard up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pull this fucking grid down. So anyway, Chris, I cannot imagine how fucked up that would be. He goes and calls the cops, and
I mean, it seems like it's not gory, but it's eerie. Could you imagine? Because they're all like covered in the sheets or the cloth or whatever, and just fucking, it's eerie as shit.
I know,
Ghostly.
I don't know if all of them. I know like the kids' faces were wrapped in bandages.
Yeah, they had tape
medical
over their
bandage.
eyes and fucking mouth and with the handkerchief and
right,
shit.
cotton
dude.
in their ears.
Cotton in their ears so they couldn't
fucking
hear.
weird.
The mom
man.
still, or the grandma, she still just had the belt like thrown right next to her that they had used.
Yeah. So, Joey, this definitely creates a crowd outside. People are wanting to see what's going on. So, you had thousands of people here piling up outside.
with their phones now.
Yeah,
right.
And there was
2018. So
There was just pictures, and there's like a 2-minute clip that you can see online.
yeah,
still.
you can watch the video of them hanging there like that.
Yeah.
It's like you said,
was,
Chris, super eerie, man.
Yeah, some newscaster or something got in there, was able to take and posted and instantly went viral pretty much.
Oh, yeah. But, people, like we said, slowing down to watch the car wreck. You know, that's just how it is, unfortunately.
People are attracted to the macabre. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. You could see some of that online if you want to check it out. I actually posted a picture. I didn't even think about it on our Facebook page of the 11 of them hanging there, or the 10 of them hanging there, and it got taken down. And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I didn't even think about it.
Right?
Like,
Just like
because we're so used to seeing and talking about fucked up shit
it doesn't bother us.
that it doesn't even faze me to see something
Facebook's
like that.
like, nope.
Yeah, but that wasn't too smart, so I definitely learned my lesson. So you got 10 people hanging from scarves, equal distance between the bodies, other than that 9th one or the 10th one that was hanging.
Dude, and it's crazy because they were like equal fucking distance too.
They were all right on those fucking cross beams of the fucking
of that lattice.
grid. That's why I'm saying maybe it didn't make fucking sense in his math.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's really crazy. And one of the cops that responded to the call said they were hanging like the roots of a banyan tree. And if you see those pictures they showed of those
what
trees,
it looks like too. It's like roots that grow out of the fucking branches.
it
which
is really
crazy.
strange. They're like hanging roots, and that is kind of what it looked like. The diaries they found mentioned the banyan tree ritual. So you got 2 men, 6 women, and 2 teens hanging in the courtyard from an iron grate. And as we said, one of the women was a few feet away hanging by herself. They were all blindfolded, duct taped over their mouths, and hands and feet tied up. No suicide note. And so you can see how the police first assumed that it might be murder, guys.
Do you know how many people would take to do that though? To
Right.
11 people, like especially the ones hanging like that, to get them up there. Like imagine you need like two people per person.
Right.
Like that's fucking nuts, dude.
It is. They did them like 3 at a time, so they didn't all do it at the same
And
exact
they
time.
only
No,
had-
I'm just saying if it was murder.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
true,
that's what. Like, how many people would you have to be there to
Yeah, you'd
murder?
have somebody
And they
with
only
a
had
gun
fucking-
maybe holding them down, and then one at a time.
I
I don't
guess,
know.
dude. That'd be fucking.
it's-
They had 5 stools.
Yeah.
right.
So you had 2 standing on
each
to
stool.
most of them. So to kill somebody and have them do that, like it doesn't seem very fucking
Plausible,
feasible.
dude.
you know?
No, it really doesn't. But nothing else was making much sense when they first, got there. I could see why.
And the more I looked at this and like a bunch of shit I saw about this too, like it kind of made sense. I can't remember her name, but the wife, she seemed to have a little bit more fucking push and instigation in what was going on, I think, than they let on.
Right.
Like, I think she was fucking involved with the lit a lot more in manipulating the rest of the family than what they said. But I can't
Interesting.
remember if she's the one that was hanging off to the side by herself.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember why she. I don't think they ever
Because
said
it was
why
her
she
and Lilith that fucking walked around and kicked out all the stools.
Right.
So I don't know. It's fucking
Yeah,
weird.
it's fucked up. So the 80-year-old grandmother's in the other room, strangled, like you said, Joey. She's got this belt bruise on her neck, so that's how they figured that she was strangled. That she wasn't able to tie herself up, and so Lilith strangled her first,
Was it like
and then went
she
to help
tied
the
to
others.
like a door handle or something too, like leaning forward or something?
It's possible.
I thought that's what I saw in that.
There was a
documentary.
kid I went to high school with. It was like, was it an accident or was it a suicide? But was with a belt on a doorknob like that.
Right.
It's kind of fucked up. Chris mentioned the cotton in their ears. I don't know what the deal was with that. And then they cut the pieces from a single bed sheet that they put over their faces. I mean, very, very strange here.
I think the cotton in there is because there's the ritual. They were supposed to like keep their heads clear, and also didn't want them to hear the struggling the other people were going through. So maybe they'd
that's
be
a good
like,
point.
"Hold on, fuck that, something's not right."
Right.
So just trying to cover the sound and shit. I think, but
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that. And like you said, 11 days before, there was a wedding there, and they danced in the spot where the bodies all hung. So that's
fucking
fucked up.
nuts.
I saw something too. I don't know what exactly was signified, but the cotton pieces and the fucking sheets and all that shit was something to do with that was going to help them to come back to life whenever the grandfather came and saved them. So something about, maybe to keep the fucking impure shit out whenever they're
maybe.
transitioning. It's all some fucking crazy shit.
It is. It
Dude.
really
Yeah.
is. It really is. And Joey, the only survivor was Tommy, the pet dog.
Yeah.
He was out on the flat roof of the house, but was strange. He was tied up to the same metal grate that the
they hang
family
him
was
from.
hanging from below, which is fucked.
Yeah.
He's suffering from high fever from extreme heat. He is taken to a animal rescue, and he winds up being fine. So
And they've got there's a CCTV fucking
yeah, you could see video of that with
That's,
him barking and stuff up there.
but they got a CCTV that's fucking located right outside. Like you can see the fucking front door of their house.
Right.
And fucking, it shows them the night before. It shows Lilith and the fucking wife like coming back and forth with the stools.
Right.
But the last thing that you see that comes from that family is the lady walking the dog that is on the roof later on.
Oh,
But that's
okay.
the last thing you see. So it's just kind of just ironic that the last thing you see out of that family is something completely normal.
All right, just taking the dog
Gotta
out
go
for the
walk
walk
the dog.
before the night's
Right.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they
that's
talked
fucked
about,
up.
that possibly maybe they put him out on the roof so he wouldn't interfere with what they were doing.
Probably.
And I mean, that's fucking, if this dog's fucking close with this family, like most dogs are, and all of a sudden it sees them all fucking dead, it's
Yeah.
going to freak the fuck out. You
Oh
know?
yeah, definitely. So it is really crazy. But yeah, like you said, Joey, with that CCTV, they thought they were going to maybe see somebody go in.
Yeah.
Right, it's another.
But the only
person,
people
yeah.
that were on the video were the fucking
The
family
family.
that was dead, in there afterwards. So that's just, wow. So the police have a few different ideas. They're thinking mass suicide, murder, possibly a combination of the two. They're also thinking some occult ties because there was some signs of ritual left behind, some burnt stuff. I saw some embers like in looked like a little grill or something, but they did some sort of burning of something there. No sign of struggle, but at least one of the adults had partially untied themselves as if they had second thoughts there at the last minute, which, that would definitely, be a possibility.
It's like, I can't breathe. Why did I do this? Fuck, get
right?
me out of here.
Some would blame the police and complain about how they were investigating it. The family says it's God's will, and it's typical to show how these horrible events, are reacted to, of how they would be reacted to here. Very typical of what we see here about people blaming the police and all this kind of stuff. 11 ambulances. So there's another 11, one for each person. Some of the cops were afraid to even touch the bodies, thinking that they were cursed, and that there was about 10,000 people out in the street watching this.
I bet there was 11,000.
11,000, yeah.
Probably.
The video that all the people like on the rooftops and everything, dude, just like with their cameras out. And like even they couldn't hardly get the ambulances in to get the bodies out because of all the people on the streets just trying to check it out and see what the fuck was going on.
Right.
Like, fuck the ambulance. I want to see the body first.
Exactly. So the police find 11 diaries, like we said, one for each family member. Lalit was obviously suffering from some sort of mental illness because he's talking about channeling the grandfather through him to tell them what they needed to do. Detailed instructions were in the diaries too about how they were going to be taped up, tied up, the cotton in their ears, all this stuff.
They had
exactly
details. They had the colors of the stools that were going to be used.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was fucking creepy shit.
Yeah.
And Lalit, too. I mean, this guy, he didn't talk for 4 years. Before this, after his dad, is that who it is, the grandpa? Or whenever he passed, Lalit was, like, silent for, like, 4 years.
Yeah, because he was in that accident.
And he was in the accident. And so... I mean, this motherfucker, that's who you start listening to after he starts talking again, after all that shit. Like, that's fucking crazy. But on the other hand, like, if your belief system's that fucking strong and maybe that's what you saw in him as it was happening, like, oh, yeah, he is channeling, this fucking entity or whatever, so you get to believe it more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fucking wild.
It is fucking crazy, man. So
this is one step up from Spaghetti Monster. Because this is true, but
right. Yeah, this is definitely a crazy one because you don't expect that something like this would happen in modern times. I mean, it just seems crazy, I'm just seeing here. I think the video is not gonna work because there's too big of a file.
Son of a bitch.
That's the son of a bitch is right.
What size does it allow?
It said it wouldn't convert the video. I actually stopped the video because I had a thing pop up that said my storage was low. I'm like, oh no, I'm not going through that bullshit in the middle of a podcast. So I went and stopped the video. And then it normally would convert the files over, but it said failed to convert, not enough disk space. So
listeners, just keep an eye out. We're working on it.
We're trying to get this thing, but video takes up an insane amount of memory. It's unbelievable. Yeah. But I should have thought shooting an hour plus of video on that thing was going to chew up a lot of space. So yeah, Lalit is obviously suffering from mental illness here. These people are blindly following him, and the details in this diary are just crazy. Chris, that CCTV thing we talked about, it is creepy, like you mentioned, how the only thing you saw was
family going in and out.
Yeah.
Like Joey said, they went and showed Tina and one of the kids getting the stools, and also showed, I think it was Lalit, go in and get that roll of wire that they used to fucking tie everybody up with. So like, that's kind of premeditation on something. I don't know, man.
Right.
Well, I mean, there's a whole fucking diary showing it was premeditated.
Right. Well, yeah, there's definitely that.
That's true.
But yeah, like he's getting prepared for real though, going to get the wire and the stools. Like,
right. Joey, I saw Lilith was also known to watch YouTube videos on the paranormal, and he did some research about that. So he was, weirding out, Netflix and chill, watching some creepy shit,
Yeah, and if there's any truth to the fact that he was, had a belief in the mythical shamans there or whatever it was, the witchcraft stuff.
Right.
Who knows what he was believing, and then you're studying that shit on YouTube ain't going to help you either if your mind's already fucking warped in that direction. But.
Right. No, that's a good point, man. So even though he was the youngest son, it is weird that he was the one that stepped up, because I guess the oldest, well, he wasn't there. The next oldest was didn't give a shit. So Lilith, was
I'll
the
do
one,
this.
I guess. They did perform handwriting analysis. They did find, as you guys pointed out, Lilith was the one probably doing the writing. He and his wife Tina were the ones who helped tie up the others before tying themselves. When the experts talked about Lilith's background, we brought up 2 incidents. One was an accident when he was a young man with a head injury. And then again, that's when he stopped talking. And then again, when he was attacked at work, or maybe that's when he stopped talking.
No, it was after the building, because they said it comes too much smoke inhalation.
Okay, yes, you're right. So the second time was when he was working, and they fucking locked him in the room and lit the fucking room on fire.
Yeah, the plywood
that's
building,
up.
dude. Was it at the plywood factory building or
I believe
whatever?
so,
that motherfucker going to go up.
Yeah, so he was freaking the fuck out. He breathed in all this smoke, and so he winds up saying that he can't speak after that. So that's really
for
whacked
4 years.
out.
Like every fucking conversation he had with everybody, he was writing everything down on paper, and they're still listening to this motherfucker.
Yeah,
right.
Like, if you're that fucking powerful or what the fuck ever, why can't you talk, dude? And then later, closer to when I did the suicide or whatever, they were doing some chant thing, and he started joining in on the chant, and everybody's like, oh shit.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's what made them think he had some kind of special something,
like
because
that
all
was
of a sudden,
miracle.
he
it
was
was some
able
kind
to
of miracle.
speak.
Yeah,
I don't know, but 4 years of not talking, Chris, and then after the death of his father, he's suddenly able to talk again, claiming he's channeling him. Sounds like he suffered from some PTSD from that incident where he almost got fucking burned alive, but it was never treated, so it just kept getting worse. I don't know. I mean,
fucking crazy.
And he was also sleeping a lot. Did you see that? Leading up to the event, he was sleeping a lot more than normal.
I did see that. Yeah, everybody was wondering why. And
his family was calling the house
it,
like, he's sleeping again. Like, what's going on?
Nobody knew why though. But
yeah,
there's a lot of questions to this story. Like more than 11.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that he was fucking heavily suffering from some serious depression.
Right.
And that was fucking leaking out into the family, too.
Speaking of 11, you know what Spinal Tap sets their amps to?
Oh, 11.
Yeah. Psychologists would say this event happened due to shared delusional disorder, which is where a group blindly follows the leader without a question. We've seen that, of course, with all these cults we've covered, They are divided on Lilith, and if he had a delusional disorder that led to him actually believing his father was channeling through him, they don't know. Another weird part of this story was the pipes coming out of the walls.
There's 11 of them.
On the outside of the building where they live, there's these look like vent pipes coming out of the side of the wall. And there's 11 of them. And Chris, they were in the same pattern.
Right, the same pattern as the bodies were hanging. And also there was, what was it? A certain number that
11 windows.
Well, no, the pipes though. There was what is it? 3 that were straight.
Oh, for the males. And
the males and the female. Like I don't remember the ratio to male females.
11 bars on the lattice.
Right.
Very, very crazy. Some, of course, speculated that the pipes were there to allow their souls to get out.
The fucking plumber or whatever that installed those or whatever. He's like, no, those have been there a long time, man.
Right.
Like, I put those in.
Yeah.
They just happened to be there.
Right.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
Since they were in the same order as the bodies or pattern or whatever is the bodies. It's fucking.
Which Lilith, he might have been fucking tripping balls in his own
mind. Just watch that shit.
Very
looking
possible,
at that
man.
like, oh, that's the pattern. Fucking.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
it's
true.
crazy. Joey, but this 11 thing, I looked it up. The number 11 is thought to be associated with a spiritual awakening. So kind of creepy to think of it. Is that what Lilith was seeing? I don't know, man.
Yeah, it was basically like fucking Jim Carrey in number 23.
Right.
Everybody that fucking 11s, it's going to fucking drive me insane.
Right.
Got to kill my family.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. Whenever we talk about cults, Scientology, the Branch Davidians, Jonestown, I mean, we wonder how can people believe this shit? Doctors, lawyers, very educated
Prominent people, yeah.
You can also point to modern mainstream religion for this, but their followers are not killing themselves and doing crazy shit like that. So there's the big difference there. They are telling them to donate money. And,
right, give me your money.
But as I see it, the organized religions are not, in any way, going out and killing people. But we do know the Catholics have had their share of fucking bullshit with the priests. But we're talking about murdering and stuff. They're not doing that kind of shit. But these cults, a lot of them, it seems like that's kind of the end game, is everybody killing themselves or, some sort of violent act.
No, those are the cults you hear about. There's so many more cults.
Oh, sure.
But you're going to hear about the ones that kill themselves. There's plenty that don't kill themselves.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And they're just religious entities or, whatever. And in reality, they would be considered a cult. Apostolic Christians, them motherfuckers run everything. That's a fucking cult.
That's a cult like a motherfucker.
But they haven't fucking been killing people.
Right.
And if they do, then
you'll hear about it.
Yeah. It's crazy though.
But that group think, it's really weird. The experts on the documentary spoke about it, this incident being very much like a cult. And one of his relatives stopped believing in God after all this. So that's kind of,
I saw, yeah. He just and his wife in the documentary, she comes in and like praying. He's just like, you stupid.
Chris, Joey, anything to add to this one?
No.
All I was going to add to this is that, we can relate it to other cult fucking stories that we talk about, but this one is different than those. And
very much,
where something like Jonestown or the fucking Heaven's Gate happened, that was a mass suicide on every level. This, if we're to believe what these people were thinking in their minds, is what was in the fucking, the diaries and shit. They tried for a mass salvation. They weren't trying for a mass suicide.
Right. I think this is more of an accidental death than a suicide.
They believed something so strongly that they weren't going to get hurt.
Right.
That
the grandfather was going to save them.
Right. They didn't go in like fucking Jonestown. It's like, okay, we're going to kill ourselves because if we can't live how we want to live, we're going to die how we want to
go
die.
to heaven. And,
these people just totally believed that they were going to fucking witness something else. They said, I don't know if we talked about it, whenever they fucking hung themselves, part of their fucking ritual was they had a glass of water.
And when the water changed color.
The water changed color was when he was supposed to come back and save them. And that shit fucking blew my mind. Like, did anybody see the fucking water change color? I mean, who knows, Maybe he did come save them on some other celestial plane. Or
right.
It's some weird shit.
Up.
But this case was definitely a good one to do.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, that docuseries we talked about called House of Secrets, Burari Deaths, on Netflix. It's a 3-parter. It's good. They interview the police, the neighbors. Very well done. And there is other stuff out there. Chris mentioned podcasts. I'm sure there's plenty of those. Again, this is just 2018.
Yeah.
So very, very, very recent compared to a lot of these stories we do. So very, very interesting, but sad. I mean, holy shit.
It's pretty fucking shitty, dude.
Unbelievable. Now, next week, guys, we're going to keep the brutality going here, going to Port Arthur, Tasmania, Joey. We're going to have to play some
Gape. Yeah.
We're going to have to play some Gape. From a 1996 incident involving Martin Bryant, the Australian, who went on a fucking killing rampage, Chris. Holy shit.
Yeah, he caused a lot of stir in Australia about guns and shit, too.
Yeah. 35 killed, 23 injured, the worst mass shooting in Australian history. And we're going to have the former Australian federal police officer, Mick, who's going to talk about it. I did an
awesome.
interview with him over the weekend. It really turned out great. I'm going to have a little clip, like a 60-second clip of something that's really funny that he said about our podcast. I think you guys will like it. I'll play that later in Mayhem. So we got a lot of Aussie listeners, so we wanted to do another case down under. So there we go. That's next week. So you definitely don't want to miss that. All right, Joey, you know it's that time. Little page a day. What do you got over there for us?
I got some page a day. It's only 2 fucking tales, but they're good.
Okay.
And I had said last week too, one of them was about the toy box killer,
Oh yeah.
David Parker Ray. But whenever I actually got to reading it, it's pretty cool because it's kind of a little bit different perspective. So
Okay.
I always like whenever we get that. So page a day, once again, thank you. We're fucking talking David Parker Ray. So in March 1999, just north of a town called Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, Cynthia Vigil Jaramillo escaped the home of David Parker Ray and Cindy Hendy wearing nothing but a dog collar and a chain. She had been held there for 3 days by Ray, who was to be known as the Toy Box Killer. On the day she escaped, Ray had removed her handcuffs and shackles and left her in the living room chained to a padlock on her neck. And Hendy was watching her soap operas. When the phone rang and Hendy got up to get it, Jaramillo noticed a set of keys sitting on the coffee table. So she grabbed them, began trying to fucking hit the throat lock. Hendy sees her, drops the phone, begins attacking her with a lamp and an ice pick. Somehow, Jaramillo fights her off, stays conscious, finds the right key, and unlocks herself. She grabs the phone, dials 911. She drops the phone, stabs Hendy with the ice pick.
Goddamn.
She just grazed her forehead, but still, she fucking
Right.
got
Going
one
at
in
it.
on her. And then she runs out the front door to a neighbor's trailer and asks for help. The 911 dispatcher heard the fight and sent authorities, of course. So Jaramillo, her and Hendy were both in the same hospital at the same time for their
Oh
wounds.
shit.
That's fucked up.
And while they're there, Hendy tried to explain that she and Ray had picked up Jaramillo from Albuquerque to help her detox, which is why she was chained up in their house. They're like, she's all spun out on drugs and shit, so we're trying to just, fucking help her. But it was too late because, of course, by that point, the police had already found the fucking toy box
Right.
on the property with its whips, chains, pulleys, straps, clamps, leg sprayer bars, syringes, surgical blades, saws, and more. They found the welcome video that Ray played for the Jaramillo and all his other victims, which began with "Hello, bitch."
Hello, bitch.
They found his journals that detailed the torments, and they even found some tapes with video recordings of murders that were committed.
Horrible shit, man.
So
Some of the
Jaramillo
worst.
was his first victim, and she had made it out alive, or his final victim, and she had made it out alive. None of his other victims were ever found, though. So, the mystery with David Parker Ray. The investigation that ensued after Jaramillo escaped led to the identification of a local John Doe as Billy Ray Bowers, who had probably been killed by Ray. He was charged with the kidnapping, torture, and rape of Jaramillo, as long as 2 other women who had managed to escape, Angelica Montano and Kelly Garrett. Montano and Garrett both reported the torture to police, but neither one of them was believed by the police. So he was tried separately for his crimes. David Parker Ray was. He was found guilty on 12 counts of murder or crimes against Jaramillo, and then he pleaded guilty to the crimes against Kelly Garrett. But Angelica Montano, she died before Ray went to trial for her crimes, so there was no conviction in hers. He received 224 years in prison, but of course he died in prison within the year. Hardly did fucking shit.
It was when he got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was in jail for that
was
time.
in
And then
jail,
when he went to
right.
prison, he died.
Yeah, the day he went to prison, he died like in reception before
Yeah.
they even fucking went in.
So in 2000, Cindy Hendy, she got a 36-year sentence, but she was released in 2019. 2 of Ray's other accomplices served time as well. His daughter, Jessie Ray, she got 30 months for kidnapping, and then Dennis Roy Yancey was convicted in the 97 murder of Marie Parker, which Ray did videotape, and that was one of the murder videos they had. He was paroled in 2011, but returned to prison 3 months later to serve his full 20-year sentence. So I got to imagine he got let out on some kind of parole or good time and then fucked it up.
Yeah.
Right?
So Jeremio, though, she went on to have 3 sons. She also established a nonprofit Street Safe New Mexico organization, and she just has, tried to keep a voice in the sex trafficking and homeless sector open.
Hell yeah.
One of her quotes, this is something that Cynthia Jeremio said. She said, "This was a very sick man. The only thing that gives me any comfort is that he's gone. If I didn't get away, I wouldn't have my 3 wonderful boys, and I wouldn't be here." So,
wow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, one of the more awful fucking stories out there.
Yeah. But like I said, Page Today is pretty good about kicking a little different angle on some of these.
Yeah,
so that's cool. I always like seeing that. All right, so I got one more from Page Today, and this is about Scott Ominger. And if you don't remember that name, you'll probably remember this case whenever I bring it up. So it was back in March 6th of 1995. And Scott Ominger, he's on an episode of the Jenny Jones Show, which back then, I mean, that's just trash TV.
Right. It was like Jerry Springer fucking...
Yeah. So he's on the show, and he admits to having a secret crush on his straight friend Jonathan Schmitz. 3 days later, Ominger was shot dead at his home by Schmitz, who called the police immediately after to confess, claiming that he had been publicly humiliated on TV.
I heard about this.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I do remember that.
It was especially deliberate. He had driven to the bank to take out money. Then he had gone to the gun store to buy the shotgun, then to Ominger's house. He verbally confronted him the first time, and after his initial confrontation, Schmitz went out and got the shotgun from the car, returned, shot Ominger. It's premeditation, but he was only found guilty of second-degree murder, and he was sentenced to 20 to 25 years in prison, and he was released on August 22nd of 2017.
Wow.
So Ominger's family, they decided to sue the Jenny Jones Show and the production company Warner Brothers, of course, for wrongful death in this. And they retained Jeffrey Feiger, who was he was a defense attorney for Jack Kevorkian.
Oh, Kevorkian, that was it. Okay.
And others, but yeah, but Kevorkian was one they were talking about. And he was raw. He went after Warner Brothers and all them very aggressively with the questions to the producers. He even questioned Jenny Jones herself. But he had an 8-hour closing statement, and the jury found that all parties involved in the production of the show had acted irresponsibly and negligently. Warner Brothers, they were found liable, and they were ordered to pay the family $29,332,000.
Jesus.
But of course, that decision was later overturned in appeals. The Ominger family, they didn't have as many resources as fucking Warner Media Corporation.
Of course.
So they could not fucking continue to fight them. They received no settlement money. Jenny Jones never admitted any responsibility or apologized for it. They were widely publicized, the whole trial, on fucking Court TV, which was owned by Warner Media. So, meaning the company, once found criminally liable in his death, was now profiting off of him in the end. Wow. And Ominger's family was left with nothing. So,
holy
God
shit.
Damn, dude.
Damn. That's brutal. A page a day. Always some good stories to be had, man. We've done several episodes spawning from Page a Day. The most legendary, of course, would be the Feather Thief. I mean, that's the ultimate thing. All right, so I think we have done our share of murder tonight. I think it's time to crank up some metal. And Joey, what the fuck do we need to do?
Sick Ripper! Let's get our metal on!
Just because CK has passed on, he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you. All right, CK, always the great metal motherfucker. We're going to be doing a tribute to CK, Chris, later this month.
Yes, we are.
Last week of the month, which would be his birthday, we're going to do a special CK tribute. We're going to have his wife Laura on. We're going to have Tex on. And we're going to talk about CK, play some cool clips, some weepy voice. You know, we got to do some weepy voice. So
coming up soon.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. All right, now I think somebody needs to give me some horns here because it's my turn to do the segment, and we passed the horns literally.
Got the horns.
2 goat horns. And we use these to signify that it's your turn to do a band in the metal segment. So I got the horns tonight. And I decided to do the band Killing. I love these guys. Very good Danish band, thrash. Really cool, a lot of fun. And so this is a really energetic young band. So really cool stuff.
Fucking right.
They started in 2013 in Denmark, just 4 old friends who loved metal. And they wanted a one-word band name. And Jesper said they made this huge list. And off of that list, they just picked Killing.
Let's go with it. Fuck it.
Yeah, very simple. Love the name. These guys are inspired by the typical thrash bands you would expect: Exodus, Metallica, Creator, and more. 5 years of hard work saw the 2018 release of their EP, Toxic Asylum, which kicks ass. And they did a bunch of live shows and fests. And when the pandemic hit, they decided to hit the studio, which a lot of bands did, with Jacob Bredahl, a former member of Hatesphere, who was turning the knobs for him, engineering that. They created a beast with the album Face the Madness, and they signed with legendary Danish metal label Mighty Music, who released it in August 2021. I really love it. I can't say enough about how much I dig these guys. Kind of a mix of speed and thrash metal, very heavy. They really great music videos. They've got a series of 3 videos that kind of has the storyline going on.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that they did them all themselves, it has to do with a serial killer. It's fucking cool as hell. So I really, really like those guys. Definitely very creative. And the fact they're doing some DIY shit, you gotta love that too.
Gotta love all the DIY shit. That's what everybody.
Oh, hell yeah.
Killing
so
it does.
Go on and check these guys out. The lineup is Jesper Skousen on drums, Christian Johansson and Rasmus Sorensen on guitar, and then Rasmus Soleberg. So they got 2 guys named Rasmus in the same band.
Fucking right.
On bass and vocals. And, it must be a popular name, I guess. But who
like
cares?
John.
These guys are killer, man. Check out the episode description if you want to buy some merch on their Bandcamp page.
Buy that shit.
That's right. They've got the digital music on there, T-shirts, hats, all kinds of cool shit. So a lot of good merch. Great artwork, too, that they've got on the merch. The album's got like a guy holding up a baby and is like ready to stab it or something. It's fucked up. So definitely cool shit. So let's check out a 7-minute sample of my interview with Jesper Skousen.
Tankard, all those, all those great German bands.
Yeah, there's so many good ones.
Yeah, and also we have good old Artillery from Denmark.
Yes.
Perhaps the most famous of the old Danish thrash metal bands. The only band that still is alive to this day and kicking.
Yeah, so, that's impressive. Yeah, those guys go back away for sure. That's that big time influence on a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely, and also on us because the first 3 albums are classic ones. Also within the Danish metal scene, so how can you not love that stuff? But I think Snell is the guitar player with a little bit more melodic approach when he is writing riffs. So he's very much into Annihilator, for example. That is, Jeff Waters has this kind of melodic stuff. So he's very influenced from that point.
Right.
And Rasmus is a little bit more Exodus kind of hard-edging guy. He's also a very big Power Trip fan. So
I love Power
those 2
Trip.
mixed together. Yeah, that is also a great band. And those 2 coming up with riffs, and we are trying to all in what is it called? Collaboration. Collaboration. Yeah,
that's right.
We all work on them in the rehearsal room and try to get them the best way possible, sounding like the best possible way it can as a song.
Right.
So we have a little bit of melody and we have a little bit of Exodus.
I think it's cool how far thrash has gone, like all over the globe. I mean, there are some really good Australian thrash bands in Malice's wake, Harlot, bands from South America, like Corzus is killer. And then, going over to Europe with you guys, Onslaught's a great band, still at it for such a long time. So seeing all that thrash, being from the U.S., I see the U.S. bands, mostly, but when you really think about it, thrash really goes, I mean, even Angelus Patrida over in Spain, I mean, all over the place. It's really cool. It's great to see.
It's really great to see, and I stumbled upon an Indian thrash metal band last year. Yeah, they were called, what the hell is, 2 seconds, Pete.
That's no problem.
I have it right here.
Oh, I see the Fatal Portrait patch on the back of your jacket.
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge King Diamond fan. So
awesome.
Amorphia.
Okay.
I don't know if you have known about these guys.
No, I'll check it out.
I'll send you a link. It's they are aggressive as hell. They just want to plow ahead.
Awesome.
I love that stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely check that out. Now, tell us about how things went when you recorded your last album. That was from 2021 called Face the Madness. It's killer, start to finish, just relentless. But what was the recording like?
Thank you very much. The recording, well, the first EP we did and the single we did, we recorded that ourselves. We have a little studio out in our rehearsal room, and we recorded that ourselves with Snell being the mixing and mastering dude on that. But we decided that when we were going to release the full-length album, we wanted to go into a real studio, if you can say that, with more what is the word, with a dude that had been doing this stuff before.
Right.
What is it?
Like a recording engineer?
Yeah. And when we were looking for the right studio, because we knew we wanted a dry sound and some aggressive attack on the sound as well, but we didn't want to sound too modern. So it also had to be a little bit harsh, a little bit, not too much. So the right amount. And we were talking about who could provide us with that sound among these Danish producers. And we have quite some names here. Tue Madsen, if you've heard about him.
Yes.
Yeah. A very heavy sound, and he's really good. And we talked to a lot of different kind of producers, and we ended up with Jacob Bredal.
Okay.
Who some people maybe remember from Hatesphere, a Danish death thrash band.
Yeah.
He was the singer on the first 5 albums with them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he has the studio, and it's located like 50 kilometers from here. Rasmus, our guitar player, he lives in the same city in Aarhus, where his Dead Rat studio is located. So it was also very convenient that we could, we didn't have to travel,
right,
I don't know how many kilometers to do it. So we booked time with him and talked to him about the project and what kind of sound we wanted, and he gave us it.
It sounds really good.
He hit the spot, man. So that was cool. So I think the recordings took like 10 days, and then he mixed it, and he sent us some of the first examples, and we were just like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's really awesome. I'm really definitely digging the production on that. And I like the fact, like you touched on, it's got that rawness, like not too polished, and like you said, not too modern, very old school, but I really love the whole way you approached it. He obviously did what you wanted, and that's awesome. Now, you released that on Mighty Music, and that is, of course, a legendary Danish label. How did that come about?
Actually, it was the boss from Mighty Music that wrote a message to me on Facebook one day and asked me how come we hadn't been in contact with them about some cooperation with Killing and Mighty Music. And I was like, well, at that time we hadn't been actually talking about when we were going to do the album, because we had We had 10 shows. We had booked 10 shows in the beginning of 2020, but then Corona came and destroyed everything. So all these jobs, we could just wave goodbye to those. And then we had the time to do the album, and we recorded it in August, September, around that time. And at the same time, we were talking with him about the contract and all that, and they really would like to release the album. And
so that's a little piece of that interview.
Fucking A, man.
Did
Gotta love
Jesper.
the interviews.
Hell yeah.
Jesper's a really cool guy. The interview is going to be fun to listen to because we have a lot of back and forth joking and stuff.
Yeah.
So really, really cool. We talked about Merciful Fate and King Diamond, of course, King Diamond from Denmark. So that was interesting. And again, that'll come out the day after this episode. The full interview will be a bonus, and then you get to watch the interview on YouTube on Friday as well. So check that out. Joey, what about you for a Lost Classic tonight?
For my Lost Classic, I'm going back to 1989, and I'm going to England, and the band is Sabbath. They came out with their album Dreamweaver then, and to me, that was just a fucking huge album. I was a kid whenever it came out, but it was a concept album that was based on a 1983 book, The Way of the Word, W-Y-R-D. Tales of an Anglo-Saxon Sorcerer. So the whole album's like based on this fucking book, which is pretty fucking cool. But something I like to say about Sabbath too is they had Andy Sneap on guitars, and this motherfucker was a goddamn monster.
Oh yeah,
and fucking, I mean, he toured with Judas Priest.
Yeah, he's been touring with Priest.
Yep.
He's a great recording producer.
Exactly.
Too,
yeah, he's got a place in Derbyshire, England, called Backstage Recording Studios. I mean, he did like just to name them. He did Opeth Deliverance there. I mean, he recorded fucking Accept, Dream Theater, Saxon, Amon Amarth, Exodus, Megadeth, Cataclysm, Creator, Testament, Carcass, Overkill. I mean, it's just fucking huge bands all around.
Oh,
so,
yeah, dude.
So he's a big name, but his band Sabbath, they were around back then. Go check out Dreamweaver. I also did something different this time where I actually shared the link to the album to our Murder Metal Mayhem group page, just so in case somebody wants to hear it, it's an easier way for them to check it out. So
yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. All right, well, what have we been listening to here lately, Chris? What about you, man, at the Nation?
I listened to the Only 6 Feet Under album that matters, Haunted. I was checking that out today. The only one that matters. Everyone else, fuck off. I don't care. I was listening to some 200 Stab Wounds. Fucking, I don't know, different shit.
Some love songs.
I was actually listening to Schizophrenia and Killing the other day. We started working on Joey's car Saturday.
Yeah, what'd you think about
Schizophrenia? Pretty badass. Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, very cool, very cool. What about you, Joey?
I was listening to a lot of that Sabbath. Whenever I went to go do the fucking Lost Classic, then I kind of went into a little rabbit hole with their shit. And they got a live video of them in 1990
I don't think I've
in
ever
Germany.
even heard them before.
Check that album out.
What kind of metal is it?
It's fucking speed metal-ish, hard driving thrash. Like it's got really good fucking technical parts to it and shit.
Huh.
I think you'd really like it. You'll have to check it out.
Okay.
Now the album Dreamweaver, the one that I posted, it's got the second song on there's a little bit misleading because it has like a lot of clean vocals and it's like a ballad, but it has to do with because they did it for the book or whatnot.
I see.
And every other song they do is not like that at all. But
I see.
But anyway, I also posted a live video that they did 1990 in Germany. It was right after the Berlin Wall had come down.
Oh,
but
wow.
if you guys are fucking on YouTube, check that video out if you want to check out Sabbath, because that's like a very good live video for back then. But somebody else I was listening to Troglodyte, which is a band that fucking all Sasquatch fucking oriented shit.
Right.
They're fucking pretty badass. And then also I was listening to a band called Cognitive because I saw that they had just got signed to Metal Blade Records. So fucking
I did see that.
shout
too.
out to them for getting fucking on Metal Blade.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Like you, Chris, I've been listening to some Killing, some Schizophrenia, Dissection, and I gotta say, I've been reading that book on John Zazula from Megaforce Records, and I've been listening to some old Metallica, man. Holy shit, what a shame that they fell so far, because Ride the Lightning is like the ultimate. I mean, that is such an amazing album, and wow, what a shame. I miss that Metallica, so, and I get it, you can't be angry and 19 all your life, but man, they were fucking badass back then. I really, really liked them back then. Not so much now. Well, Chris, you're going to have the horns next week, so any tease or any idea who you're going to do?
I was thinking about doing fucking Ailstorm.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do Ailstorm.
Ailstorm, not Hailstorm.
Not Hailstorm, A-L-E.
Got you. All right, just making sure. I did an interview with 3 of the guys from Schizophrenia on Sunday, the bass player, the 2 guitar players. Really cool, a lot of fun. We did it on Zoom, and it was about 35 minutes long. And so that's going to be my next band, will be Schizophrenia. But that new album, Recollections of the Insane, is just unbelievable. Joey, we lost another metalhead the other day to cancer. I saw you posted this. I saw some of the guys from CDN Records. I saw Jesse. Who was this person?
Bob Shaw passed away. I believe he was like 32 or something.
He wasn't very old at all.
Oh, wow.
But Bob is he's a big time supporter from up in Canada. He did a lot of work with CDN Records, but he was in some bands. Most notably, he was in a fucking band called Cuff for a while. And then he did a band called Brain Spasm, and then he was in Existential Dissipation, which is the last band that he was in. But like I said, he was just like such a fucking huge supporter, and he had a huge fucking heart. Like,
wow,
I don't know, he was just about shit, and he had been going through a battle with cancer, and I think I was like almost everybody else. From the last post I saw from him a few days ago, like, yeah, he was going through the shit, but it seemed like he was beating it.
Wow.
Everything seemed to be super positive. So whenever all of a sudden you wake up and you find out that he didn't make it, it was like, holy shit, I thought,
Wow.
So I don't know. It was pretty abrupt, but, may he rest in peace. Bob Shaw from Cuff,
Hell yeah, man.
Great supporter.
I didn't know who he was. I just knew that a lot of people were really close with him, and he was a big supporter of the metal scene.
Like I said, he pretty much knew everybody. He, as far as like Goremonger is concerned, like he supported me, but with my Horror Flicks albums, he's the one that has done the Alien movies with me.
Oh, okay.
He did the guest vocals on Alien and Aliens for Horror Flicks 1 and 2, and like I was literally just like, that's the last thing I said to him. Was when he was going into the hospital. I was like, man, after you're done with this procedure, I'll have Alien 3 ready for you. And, that was the last thing I got to say to him, and then he ended up passing. So I'm still going to do that track, but obviously won't have him on it, which sucks. But I'll have another mutual homie of ours on it.
That's cool.
But anyway, yeah, R.I.P. We all know that fucking cancer fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yes,
We got hit, here at our studio.
CK in October. So.
Yep.
Man, it's too many people, man. That's for sure. I mentioned this last week, but we're going to have Bonesaw and Josh here from the death metal band Murder Complex. These are some local guys that are doing this. We've had Bonesaw in here a couple times. Josh is a friend as well, so it's going to be cool. They're going to be here in the studio for a very special April Fool's Day, Chris, the week of April 5th. What are we going to be doing that week, man?
I forgot. Who the fuck are we doing? Holy shit.
We're doing the fucking spaghetti
The
monster.
Church
yeah, the
of
flying spaghetti monsters. Yeah,
Monsters.
the
We're all going to
goddamn
wear
Pastafarians.
colanders.
I was like, I know there was something dumb we were doing.
We're all going to wear colanders in here. We're going to be Pastafarians for the night, doing some Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monsters, and Murder Complex will be in here. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I told Bonesaw we'll do all bumper music of theirs from the new album that's coming out April 1st. So that's cool. He sent me a couple tracks, man. Really, really good stuff. The production was considerably better than anything I've heard him do before. So that's really cool. Also, we talk about it, the 666 Club, a way that you could support Murder Metal Mayhem. Patreon is the way you do it. You just sign up, $3 a month. You could pledge more. One listener, Chris, pledges $6.66.
Fuck yeah.
That's awesome. So that's cool if you want to do that. But hey, $3 is all you need, and then you're in that club. You get the episodes early. You get the karaoke stuff when I do it. You get the the bonus stuff. The Manson family episode we just did not that long ago.
Manson family. Nobody heard that except our Patreon.
That's right. That's the only way you can hear it right now. So
the way we talk about it.
That's right. So go to the episode description and you'll see a link to the 666 Club again. $3 a month. That's nothing. So it's a good way to support what we're doing here. All right. Well, we have done plenty of metal tonight. So Chris, what the fuck do we need to do?
Let's get our mayhem on.
Howdy, y'all. Anyone can just rent a car. That's boring. How about renting an actual car used by a serial killer to help spice things up a bit? She'll love it when you show up for the first date in the Murder Mac, driven by the Toolbox Killers. Or how about that pickup truck Joel Rifkin used to stash his dead hookers? Or the 1949 Ford sedan Ed Gein used to bring home dead women from the cemetery in Plainfield. Woo-wee!
I thought my date would love a ride in Ted Bundy's Volkswagen. That rape kit on the back seat was the perfect touch. I'm not sure why Velma screamed until I finally let her out.
Here at Serial Car Rentals, we can do more than cars and light trucks. How about renting the Manson family bus for your entire family vacation? All your kin can fit in there, and they might find some LSD from back in the day. Nothing says let's hit the road like some stank-ass hippie fuck bus. You'll all clap for more.
Fuck, my wife and I, we rented fucking Ann Kemper's fucking car and drove around picking up fucking hitchhikers, man. Man, we watched them scream and scream until we let them out the passenger door because they couldn't get that son bitch open. We wouldn't let them. That was fucking great, dude.
Telling y'all, call us today at 800-KILLER-RIDES or download our application to rent your serial killer ride today.
Oh my God.
Application.
Application. That was all three of us playing the fool there.
Oh, yeah.
Some serial killer car rental commercial. That was a lot of fun. You can watch us do that on YouTube if you want to go check that out. Also, before that, the band Killing and Kill Everyone. Love that shit. So go support those guys, man. It's such a cool band and a lot of good music to be had there with them. So go check them out. All right. Last week, guys, I shared a Mayhem story for you, some 350 big block. And I was laughing about it afterward, just listening to me tell it just made me laugh about it again. And I remembered like a sequel to this, if you will, but involving the same guy.
Right.
From 350 Big Block. Now, if you missed last week, basically what we did was we played a joke on a friend of mine who had to get up early for work, and this guy that used to hang out with us that was just kind of a train wreck of a individual. He had this really fucked up voice like that, and he was. Came up to us and asked if we had a 350 big block for sale. Of course, none of my friends knew anything about cars, but We were like, no. And then I thought, you know what? I gave him this guy's number. So anyway, he called him, woke him up. I mean, it was quite the thing. And it came out that I was the one that gave the number out. And so he was not too happy with me. So that all was done. And we laughed about that for quite a while. I mean, I'm still laughing 30 fucking years later about it. So anyway, this one friend of ours named Jack, Jack was a super cool guy and real quiet, though. One of those people that, wouldn't say much to anybody other than the people he was real tight with.
Right.
And so anyway, he was having a birthday party. I don't know if it was the 21st. That wouldn't have mattered at my place. Everybody was getting fucked up.
Right. It didn't matter how. I don't care how old you are. Come on with it.
Exactly. So
I drink with fucking 6-year-olds. I don't give a fuck.
I was the first one of my friends that had his own place. So like they were all at my place constantly. So anyway, we had a party for Jack, and he was getting pretty fucked up. Now to get in the building, you have to buzz in, to get in. So we had this all prearranged. We told this guy, the pain in the ass guy, to show up at a certain time after we knew Jack would be there and would be pretty drunk. Timing was impeccable. So here he comes walking by the window. Because I had a ground level apartment, and you could see people walking up.
By,
so like, okay, he's here. So that was the signal to get Jack over by the front door of the apartment within earshot of the buzzer. So when the buzzer went off, of course, we were going to have Jack answer it, and it would be this guy, and the voice would be unmistakable,
Right. Yeah,
so
that's him.
When we used to joke around about him, Jack would always laugh. And so when he would come up to, a group of us, Jack would be just laughing before he even said a word, just because he knew that it was going to be ridiculous. So like a preemptive laugh. But anyway, so he walks by the front door, tell Jack to get over by the thing. It buzzes. Jack's like, hello, who is it? Jack, is that you son of a bitch? And he was just looking at me like, what the fuck? Like, why is he here? And I'm like, it's your birthday, Jack. We had to have him in here. And he's like, fuck no, I'm like, let him in. Just let him in. So he buzzed him in, and fucking... He comes walking in the front door, fucking slapping Jack on the back, and fucking Jack's always laughing. He's like, why aren't you laughing, Jack? And he's like all up in his face and shit. And Jack is just like, you fucking asshole, motherfucker. It's my fucking birthday party. I don't want to deal with this bullshit all night,
Hell yeah.
And of course, he stayed all the way to the end, so poor Jack had to put up with it all fucking night long. So.
That's fucking
So yeah, a little bit of a sequel to both 350 Big Block.
Why the fuck you invite this guy?
Right? Thanks, you fucking prick. So, anybody else got any mayhem they want to share?
I don't tonight, no.
Not tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, very cool. All right. Well, tonight, Killer Cage match.
Yes.
Always a fun part of the show to do. We got a list of 75 killers that we came up with, 75 objects for them to fight with, and 15 variables. And our listeners on our Facebook page picked the random numbers that we're going to use to figure out who's fighting and what they're fighting with. So, Chris, who do we want to say thank you to?
Oh, we got Jody Wharton, Rebecca Boomsock, and Carolyn Schwindy. So thank you all for the numbers. We appreciate you all listening.
Yeah, thank you, ladies.
Participating.
And Joey, we got a nice brutal beatdown going on in the cage. Who's fighting tonight?
Sick Ripper, William Devin Howell. He's been going up against fucking Clifford Olson. I don't know what Clifford Olson's going to do with a full-size man. We'll see.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying,
dude. Kids. So,
well, but what do we have for them to fuck around with, though?
Yeah, Chris, what are the two objects, man?
Tonight they got a motherfucking flamethrower and a brass butt plug covered in fecal matter. Like
that's rough.
Covered in
and the variable is a good one. The Tiger King in Heat wearing nothing but a thong. So, I don't know what to make of that. So we got the Sick Ripper himself, William Devin Howell, going up against the Beast of BC, Clifford Olson, with a flamethrower and a brass butt plug covered in feces. And the Tiger King's running around in heat wearing nothing but a fucking thong, Chris. What the fuck do you make of this?
It's a rough one. I don't know, but I know fucking William Devin Howell's definitely fucking kicking Clifford's ass in hand to hand. But I think Tiger King's going to look at Olsen and think he's kind of cute, so he's going to try and hit on him. So, like, Olsen's going to grab the butt plug and shove it in Tiger King's ass, which he's going to enjoy it. So he's happy already.
Like that,
yeah, he's happy already. At the meantime, Devin Howell's already got the flamethrower, and he's just going to torch both of them and fucking destroy everything. I'm giving it to fucking Howell, dude.
Wow. Okay. Joey, what do you make of that, man?
I think as soon as the fucking bell rings, William Devin Howell, he just starts fucking headbanging, throws his horns in the air. He's like, "Sick Ripper!" He fucking runs over to Lion King.
Is he going to have like a Sick Ripper outfit on?
I mean, he's got fucking... if you thought that Wasp had the raw outfits, that's nothing compared to what Sick Ripper has. So he runs over to Lion King, Lion King?
Tiger King.
He runs over to the Tiger King. And he's like, "Man, you's wearing some badass thongs, dog. And you got the badass hair. So we gonna headbang together." So William Devin Howell's Sick Ripper and fucking Lion King are fucking headbanging just crazy. They fucking grab that flamethrower because there's nothing more fucking heavy metal than fucking a flamethrower.
Fuck yeah.
And they're just fucking jamming, got the fucking flamethrower, and he just
Clifford
fucking
Olsen
starts
up.
catching fucking Clifford Olsen's hair on fire with the flamethrower.
Blocks.
Tiger King's like, "I can be sick too," and he grabs that fucking butt plug that's covered in feces, and he licks all the feces off and gets it all juiced up and shoves it up fucking Clifford Olsen's ass. He said, "That's for all them goddamn kids." And Sick Ripper's like, "You damn right." And he gets the flamethrower and he just fucking finishes him off with the flamethrower. And fucking Sick Ripper and Lion King, they headbang all night long.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
Oh my God, I love it.
I like the Sick Ripper bit. Yeah, that's good stuff.
I kept saying Lion King. I couldn't stop.
Tiger King.
It's all good. It's fucking great.
That was great. So that's why our listeners love a little Killer Cage match.
Jesus Christ, I
Because
love
you
it,
get
dude.
some crazy shit like that going on. So, also, I mentioned the interview that I did with Mick, who's our listener from Australia.
Yeah.
The former Australian police officer, federal police officer, a 666 Club member himself.
Hell yeah.
So really, really good stuff. That I wanted to pluck out this 1 minute clip because it just sums up so funny what he said about our podcast. So check this out. Those people have their place, of course, but we try to just do it like, like you said, just a few friends, sitting around a table, having a few beers and laughs and trying to make some semblance of humor out of the worst of the worst,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And putting a human perspective on it, because people are, clinicians are going to, talk their clinical jargon,
right?
And you're going to when whether it was Harold or whoever, brought up folie à deux,
right?
And you're like, so all these, technical terms where, most people just want to hear someone go, "Oh, that was fucked. That was the shittiest story I've ever fucking heard, man."
Exactly.
What's going on in that person's head to make them want to fucking do that? That's crazy.
Right. And we do try to bring in, like we recently did one on Dr. Death. All right.
Fuck yeah.
Love that shit from Mick, man. Just sometimes you just want to hear somebody say, "God, that was fucked."
Fuck, dude.
He's just such a fun guy, and so I'm looking forward to playing some more of that next week when we do the Port Arthur episode, and we'll play more of that Mick interview from there, and then of course release the whole thing after that. So perfect stuff, and you'll hear more from Mick not only next week but in other episodes. Picked a couple other Australian cases for him to talk about, so and very, very cool. We got a lot of listeners from Australia. We got to give the listeners what they want. I mean, Snowtown, Joey, we did that.
Yep.
We did
Ivan Milat.
Ivan Milat. Catherine Knight. I had a Catherine Knight question for him.
Hell yeah.
How she's doing in prison these days. So that's a good one. So All right, so the YouTube channel, we've been talking about it, been pushing it, but man, all you got to do is subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and you get the episode, notifications when we post new videos. So you can watch the video of us doing the fake commercials, which is funny. The video from us doing an entire Mayhem segment, which was nice. From episode 168, we did a killer cage match, did the whole bit. So it's definitely a thing you want to go check out. So subscribe to it. I link to it in the episode description.
Boom.
All right, well, I think we've done plenty of mayhem tonight, boys. So let's hit that fucking outro.
Creatures sitting to come into that cave, enchanted by mystery of snow screaming, marching towards the magical soul's orbit, buzzing the brain fish, shredding the skin apart.
Fuck yeah, man. Schizophrenia, the song Monolith from the new album Recollections of the Insane. Came out
Good
on your
shit.
birthday, Chris.
Yeah, good shit. That's
Yeah,
what I was listening
fucking
to
wicked.
Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really, really wicked stuff. So go check them out. Bumper music tonight, Killing in Malice's Wake and Schizophrenia. And during the Schizophrenia interview, they didn't have too many bands. I always ask the bands what they listen to or something maybe we don't know
Right,
about.
right.
They only had one or two. So I said, look, guys, I'm giving you some fucking homework. When we get done with this, I want you to check out this band called In Malice's Wake because they remind me a lot of Schizophrenia. So the singer had said, oh, I've heard them before. Yeah, I like those guys. So that was really cool. So trying to spread the word any way we can to help these bands out. So, all right. So metal segment intro, Joey, by who?
It's by fucking Chrysix.
You know it. And Chris, Murder Metal Mayhem intro.
No fucking 12.
You got it. Thank you again to Rebecca Boomsock for sponsoring the podcast this month. Thank you very much, Rebecca. And check that episode description for links to her Facebook page as well as the Dick Trickle Memorial Project. Thank you to everybody out there listening. We keep seeing those numbers rolling in. Thank you for getting us to 500,000 listens. That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
So really appreciate that. And everybody out there checking out the show. Chris, we got a few good ones here tonight.
We got Penelope Purebred. That's BREAD, mind you. Says, I love you guys. I've been a listener for 2 months and I've been trying to catch up. You have so much content. Thanks for the laughs.
Hell yeah.
We've been doing it a while, so there's plenty back there. Go check it all out.
Yeah. 171 episodes, Chris. Imagine
that's just
that.
the episode numbers, not all the bonus and all the other
the
shit.
unnumbered bonus episodes and stuff. Yeah, well over 200. All right, Joey, what about that next one?
Daytona Dave 55. Daytona Dave commented, some Florida love to you all. Love the podcast. It's one of the funniest around, and I've been here since 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. Hell
Thanks,
yeah,
Daytona Dave. Hell yeah. Angela Perkins 6 commented, I really loved your Aleister Crowley episode. Did you see?
It's a poop.
Sick Rick had posted a potential upcoming one. Could do Aleister Crowley, which would be fucking badass. So, yeah, sorry. I got sidetracked. Angela, I really loved your Aleister Crowley episode. He fascinates me. I listen every week from Belgium. Hell yeah.
Belgium's fucking
A. Got some schizophrenia going on there in Belgium. Definitely loving those Belgian bands for sure. And then, Chris, what about that last one?
All right. Die Whore Bitch 23.
Die Whore Bitch. That sounds like a good band name.
Yeah.
Huh?
Says, I'm a listener from Birmingham, England, but I'm originally from Chicago. Love you fuckers. Chi-Town, what up?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now, Joey, we had a good one. You and I kind of had a little inside track with this only because you're still playing in a band.
Right.
I used to play in a band, and this was an all-the-time thing with Low 12 with the negative comments. So we don't normally get them. I mean, honestly, if we did, I don't give a shit.
They're
Some
fucking
of them are
hilarious,
funny.
man. Shit.
So this was one that spawned from a Facebook post that I shared about our YouTube channel to get people to subscribe to it. And I said something like, if you don't do it, posers are going to take your worthless soul or something like stupid like that. And I shared it on a bunch of places, but one of them was the Schizo, which is the thrash metal band from San Francisco.
Which we have some artwork in our studio.
Yes.
Right
yeah,
there.
Lance's fucking vomit art there. So yeah, we, love those guys. They've got their own group on Facebook. And so I share stuff all the time. Every episode goes up there. So Joey, what was this one that this woman didn't like us apparently?
You shared our YouTube page. You're just trying to offer the link so some people check it out.
That's it.
Obviously, this person, so I'm not going to assume a gender.
Right.
This person got so upset with whatever it saw, heard, witnessed.
Yeah, I don't know.
That it decided to make a post underneath. And this is the direct post from this person, who obviously is not a Murder Metal Mayhem fan.
No,
Obviously
not at all. No.
But they said, such disgusting, misogynistic beginning statements from the ugliest dudes who probably haven't seen a real woman in their perverted lives that I threw up in my mouth. Stand up, guys. Did you see the other random comment underneath it?
I did.
Yeah, what was the...
I don't know what
get it.
it's pertaining to, but underneath it, the same person also wrote, not quite sure, think so. If not, I definitely don't want to lose my soul, so I better jump on it.
I don't get it.
I don't know if they're talking about,
She's talking about the opposers are going to take your worthless soul if you don't sign up.
I was being sarcastic. I get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I didn't get that either.
I
Okay.
know, it's ridiculous, but I think the comment was taken down.
Yeah.
Because I think Nate took it down,
Yeah.
my buddy. Yeah,
It's still fucking...
He probably didn't want to disrespect me, but if he knows me, he knows that's the
Yeah.
love that shit. So
No, I went to go find it again and it was gone, but I was like, I got the fucking
a comment
screenshot.
like that'll make 50 motherfuckers go then subscribe to it. Right? I mean, if you saw that, you're like, what pissed this chick off so much? Click.
Right.
Oh, wow, this is kind of cool. Brutal Vocal Academy, right? Robbie fucking screaming fucking balls out.
Hell yeah.
At the Nation. So, yeah, I mean, there's so much good stuff out there. I don't know what the hell pissed him, her, it, or what they off. I don't know. So, all right. Check out murdermetalmayhem.com to listen to all our past episodes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Got a lot of exciting things coming up there, so you really don't want to miss that. Check out the show, all sorts of ways, every app out there. As far as I know, we're on it. So comment, rate it, whatever you can do. It helps move us up the list and more people will check us out. We talk about that 666 Club, patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem will get you there. $3 a month, Chris. That's pretty small change.
Goddamn, that ain't shit, man. It's less
Not
than a
with gas
goddamn-
prices the way they are.
Shit,
for
that's
fuck's
cheaper
sake.
than gas.
Yeah, right? So $3 a month.
Yeah, that's cheaper than a gallon of gas. Fuck.
Right. You could go to creationofchaos.com if you want to pick up one of my books. Check out the episode description to do that. And also today I just started putting Deeper Than Dead into the template for the printer. So that's a process. It takes a little bit of time, but once all the text is in there and it's all nice and pretty looking and lined up, headers and the page numbers, Jenny does all that stuff, and then it's going to the printer. So getting there. We can't let him go without hearing a karaoke song. This is a blast from my past that fits the murder feature tonight. So crank this one up, and until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And keep your fist clutching on to the hope that your dead grandfather will save you before you die.
Sick Ripper.
Sick Ripper.
Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted, and then someday you'd leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering, what in the world did I do? Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying, and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying, and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for love in you. You crazy motherfuckers.
Mother, man.